Hey everybody, it's me, Elliot. Welcome back. It's day 13. Donald Trump, you are fired. Oh boy, I uh, I had to take a nap. This is taking it out of me a little bit. Like burning it at both ends here. Excuse me a second. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I want to keep this real quick because it's getting late. Got some time, but like I said, I want to meditate. It's not, only got a little over an hour until it's midnight Pacific time. But I said I was going to read you something. Again, we're going to keep this pretty brief and on point. I woke up and I see this clown on TV talking about cheating, and it's just like, wow. Only the blindest of the blind could be looking at this and not being like, isn't this what you're doing? Isn't it a pathetic candidate that you can't even show us that like McConnell is alive? That's pretty pathetic. You're trying to hold on to this guy's seat so you can win. Like, I can't believe it. I mean, I'm gonna read you a transcript that I just typed up real quick of this guy, Chwampu. Swamp Thing. I mean, I can't help Mr. Trump, okay? I'm trying not to do the name calling thing, but boy, oh boy, is that tough. We're like watching this guy's cheese slide off his cracker in real time right now. I mean, he is completely losing his marbles on the world stage. And he's surrounded by sycophants, just like every one of these other ridiculous billionaires. I can't believe it. I mean, it's like he's so gone. I see people on TV like, oh, everything you do is so big and wonderful, sir. And he's in the back like, it's like they could be just paying you lip service because when it's time comes to make a deal, you're gonna do something for them. Like, what a beast! What an unbelievable beastly man he is. And I can't believe what cowards they are. Watching this thing, and they took his face and his voice out and they just did the words, and I typed up what I heard. And he says the name Muhammad, and you can see why it's Marco Rubio and this other guy in the back, and they get ants in their pants, and suddenly they start shuffling. And so it's like, how stupid do you think we are? How stupid you must be to think that we're so stupid, all of us, that we can't see. There's a saying, you can fool some of the people all the time and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all the time. You ridiculous baboons that you have become. That's an insult to baboons to say that. I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm joined by my new little friend here, by the way. This is a Venus flytrap. These things, I didn't know this until today. They evolved this way, and you can't feed this thing anything but distilled water, no minerals. Because this thing evolved in a bog, like a swamp with acidic water where there's no nutrients in the water. So even the minerals in your tap water, you can get the nicest water filter pitcher out there, or you sink, leaves like calcium, magnesium, potassium, these are good minerals for us. It'll mess this thing up. I gotta think of a name for him. Maybe I'll name him Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio's butthole while listening to Trump talk. Oh, I just almost snorted. All right, let's do this, guys. Check this out, okay? I'm not going to read this whole thing because he talked for a while. I didn't realize it was this long, but let's just, what do you want to do? You want to do the bad and then the good? Let's do the good and then the bad, okay? 1910. Oh, my computer sometimes when I wake it up, it likes to stay asleep for like 15 seconds. There we go. Welcome back, Rosie. Theodore Roosevelt, he was a cool dude. I would have liked to have met him. You know, he had a great mustache. And I think he wore a pince-nez, actually. He had little spectacles. Maybe, I think he did. I think I've seen pictures of him. Little pince-nez means pinch nose. That thing Morpheus wore in the Matrix, that's a pince-nez. This is very famous. You probably heard this. I'll just read this one passage. It's very famous, but he really said this in France in 1910. So we're just going to see tonight, a little over 100 years, how let's say how far we have come without saying any direction up or down. Just how much things have changed. How about that? We can reserve judgment a little bit. I've been calling some names tonight. I'm trying not to do that. Excuse me, hold on one second. It's not necessarily like advisable to drink bubbly drinks when you're gonna go on camera because sometimes you have to burp afterwards. I came home, I had a non-alcoholic beer, and I just had to take a nap. It's exhausting. All right, quote. It was from the president a little over 100 years ago, before World War I. Quote, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Shame on the man of cultivated taste who permits refinement to develop into a fastidiousness that unfits him for doing the rough work of a workaday world. Among the free peoples who govern themselves, there is but a small field of usefulness open for the men of cloistered life who shrink from contact with their fellows. Still less room is there for those who deride or slight what is done by those who actually bear the brunt of the day. Nor yet for those others who always profess that they would like to take action if only the conditions of life were not what they actually are. The man who does nothing cuts the same sordid figure in the pages of history, whether he be cynic or fop or voluptuary. There is little use for the being whose tepid soul knows nothing of the great and generous emotion, of the high pride, the stern belief, the lofty enthusiasm, of the men who quell the storm and ride the thunder. Well, for these men if they succeed, well for these men if they succeed, well also, though not so well if they fail, given only that they have nobly ventured and have put forth all their heart and strength. It is war-worn Hotspur, spent with hard fighting, He of the many errors and the valiant end, over whose memory we love to linger, not over the memory of the young lord who, but for the vile guns, would have been a soldier. End quote. You know what's really interesting? Excuse me. You probably heard like the first half of that before, and so had I. It's quoted often. I had never heard or read that second half of that. It's part of why I had to repeat a part of a certain sentence, because it's just a way that we don't talk as often these days. Well, for these men if they succeed. Excuse me. And I didn't realize, I'd bet you cash money right now that he's referencing Shakespeare. Hotspur is a character in Henry IV. Yeah, I'd bet you $1,000 right now that's a Shakespeare reference. Holy cow. That means our president was into Shakespeare. That is so cool, man. Wow. I should read this whole thing, actually. This is cool. I am going to read this whole thing now. I didn't realize what a long speech this is. April 23rd, 1910. I guess the title of this speech is Citizenship in a Republic. He was the 26th President of the United States. Maybe I can, I got a couple things on here that I don't want necessarily to be seen here. There we go, but maybe I can show you. I don't want this, I got like some stuff for some of my cases open here, but maybe I'll show you a picture of him real quick. Maybe I can do this. That's what he looked like. Yeah, I did it. There we go. That's what he looked like. And he is wearing a pince nez. He's well dressed. You know, his hair combed. He's a cool guy. I feel like I remember they said he was like a boxer, like he was a cool guy. I really would have liked to have met that guy. But this is a long speech, man. So anyway, while this is fresh in our minds here, let's trot along over to 2026, okay? 116 years later. Excuse me. These are actually the words of Donald Trump from the other day. Who cares? The other day. This year. July 2026. Quote, "For those not in the construction business, granite, being a very strong, the strongest stone, it's not as pretty as marble, but it's much more, it's much stronger, it's a lot stronger, like the new granite I put on the stairs at the White House going to the old Oval Office, the black granite, it's rated 1 million years plus. No marble is rated that. Marble is rated 100 years if it's outside. So these are granite mountains. And the B-2s came along and they hit those air shafts in the dark at 1 a.m. with no moon. They had a beam going right up, and those guys did a job, and they were criticized by certain members of the press, like CNN, for possibly not doing that much damage. And it turned out that the damage was far greater. Those mountains collapsed right on top of everything. Nobody's going to get that for a long time unless we want to get it. We will get it, but we're the only ones who can. and they say China has the equipment to get it, and we have the equipment to get it, and it's actually not valuable, not a lot of value, but would like to get it psychologically, but nobody's touching it. We also have cameras that's what Space Force is. We have the best, we have the greatest military in the world, by the way, but I'm proud of Space Force because I started it. We have Space Force cameras on every single door, there are no doors. They've been pretty much, shattered, but every area of that, if somebody walks in and he's got a badge with his name on it, like Mohammed, something which is about a 50-50 guess, Mohammed something, they can tell the name. They can give you a serial number. We see things you wouldn't believe. The quality of the stuff that we have is why we've been so successful. Facepalm. Ugh. And if that doesn't bake your intellectual noodle here today, then put this in your in your thought pipe and smoke it. You probably know somebody who voted for that, like I do. You might even have somebody in your family who voted for that, maybe even more than once. Holy cowabunga. Oof. It is not far from like it is not far from just Looney Tunes. What is that line Iron Man had? There's an Acme Dynamite kit. It's an Acme Dynamite kit. It's just blowing up right now. Whew. I can't believe that he's out there talking about cheating. I mean, it's like, man, how crazy do you have to be out there talking about you're just bald-faced lying to millions of people, billions of people. You're just lying. You're out there, and it's like you it is so obvious that you are accusing people of what you were doing, and yet you just don't seem to care or be able to realize that we're not so stupid that we can't understand what you're doing. Only a total I don't want to call him an imbecile, but only a total imbecile could be doing this and thinking that he's gonna get away with it. But he has gotten away with it for most of his life. And that's the problem with these people. They're like spoiled brats, and anything they do would act like a big baby, and then they pay lawyers and they don't have to deal with it. Guys, I'm going to start talking about this a lot more because I'm realizing I'm not hearing anything about Convention of States. And I think it's because the news companies that are dominating the news cycle, they are run by billionaires. And billionaires do not want that in the national conversation. And the Congress people don't want it in the conversation because I'm saying fire them all. Seriously, they all need to go. Even the ones I like. This guy, Ossoff, is starting to come more into the media. I saw him talk for the first time yesterday. Or I guess it was like this morning. But he, I still say, like, sorry, you're part of this establishment. You got to go. You know, a lot of respect, but, you know, you heard of collateral damage. Well, same thing, AOC. Maybe you like her. I like her, but like, yeah, you're a wealthy woman now. Go on the lecture circuit, write a book, write a memoir, but you gotta go. We need to reset. We need to flush this swamp, really flush it, get rid of them. So, how much time are we up to now? 20 minutes. Okay, we don't want to go any longer than this tonight. Remember, I love channeling Captain America here. I could do this all day. I really could. I mean, at some point, obviously, I have to sleep, but if I had to, excuse me, if I had to, I could keep going. I could keep going. And if you feel like, man, I just can't take it anymore, I can't take it anymore, I bet you've had a moment in your life where you really thought you couldn't take it anymore, and you found more in the tank. There is so much strength in us, in the human spirit, man. There is so much strength. Human beings are so incredible. We're so worth fighting for. We're so worth working together to spare children, spare other people having to live through times like this. This is awful. We don't want to have to live through this again. Every single empire, I don't like that word, but every single empire or republic, that thrived for a long time, it's, sort of whatever, civilization that rose and then fell. You can look at the history, and almost every single one you could point to, you could see a clear pattern. When they became decadent, when they lost touch with the strength of their core values, honor, integrity, honesty, fraternity, empathy, when these things started to go, when they became, like Roosevelt used this word fop. I don't use that word very much anymore, but when they became foppish, if you want to look it up, FOP, go look that up. That's a fun word. You could have fun trying to use that in a sentence today. But when they became, and they became decadent, and education started to decline, that was like the death knell. That was the swan song of that civilization. So this guy is such a total fool. He is such a fool that he is actually actively trying to take apart our education system, and he has been. He hired, last time he was president, a woman who collects yachts to run the education system. What kind of a person has like a fleet of yachts? It's not enough that you have one. Her name is Betsy DeVos. You may remember her. Hopefully, maybe you blocked it out. I wouldn't be surprised, but she is, I remember just being like, you gotta be kidding me. I remember seeing them like interviewing this person, and we all just were like, just going to work, and now we got millions of people that no matter what we say. That Mark Twain quote, I looked that up again. The truth is no defense against a fool who's determined to believe a lie. He used the word fool. You got some people who are so gone that no matter what we say, that we can't do it, we can't get anywhere with them. We have to be very gentle and kind with them. Try to be firm but gentle as much as we can. It's a very fine, difficult line to walk. Anyway, I'm so tired. Tomorrow's day 14. End of the second week. Courage, guys. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be okay. It really is. I'll talk to you soon about this book I'm reading about free will. Scientific book. They've been studying this idea for a while, and this famous biologist, anthropologist, they've pretty much been able to conclude that, in the sense that it's not possible for it to be actually free, like separatable from everything or anything else around us. that's really just an idea. We just, again, I think I said this before, or maybe it was last night before I was filming, like, we think we're driving the car. This thing thinks it's driving the car, but it's barely got one finger on the wheel, sitting in the passenger seat. There is an eternity in every moment. Every moment is eternal. If you're here with me now, then you were meant to be here. I was meant to be here. Trust me, I ran from this for 10 years. I don't know how to explain it. I kind of had a feeling that something like this was coming. Didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, but I kind of had a feeling about this a long time ago. Didn't want to have to do this, but took steps. Wanted to get ready in case it wasn't crazy. For 10 years, I was like, no, that's crazy, no, that's crazy, no, that's crazy, no, that's crazy every time. 10 years later, I looked around, I was like, man, there was no point in running away from this because I'm exactly where I didn't want to be. Just ran right to where I didn't want to get to. One takes steps. That kind of thing can paralyze a person. One takes steps. One maybe wants to protect one's family. For instance, one takes steps. Maybe people start thinking that you're nuts, but then in hindsight, maybe it doesn't look like that anymore. Like, nah, maybe it isn't so crazy. At one point, the idea for this country was crazy. It was. There was a lot of people who were like, you guys are nuts. We can't stand up to the English. There's no way. That happened. Here we are. Sometimes crazy ideas end up being really good ideas. Get some rest, guys. May you all experience real peace, real harmony. Take a breath with me tonight. How about one more? There's nothing wrong about this moment. We're here together. We're always stronger together than apart. Whatever road led you here, whatever hardships you face, in the immediate future, the immediate whatever it is, be here. Let's not miss it. We got front row seats to the show of a millennium. Let's steel ourselves. Activate. It is shifting. It's starting to really change. So, deep breaths, ease down off fever pitch a little bit. Remember what I said about the Lord of the Rings and how evil things cancel themselves out in nature. That's how they work. Oftentimes, that's how it goes. This guy, he goes on TV like that. He thinks he's helping himself because that's all he knows how to do. He's not. He's losing support very quickly now. So take heart, take courage. Take some deep breaths. Maybe hit the yoga mat tonight a little bit. Spend some time with your body. Or, well, it's getting late. Maybe you're going to watch this tomorrow, but we're at 30 minutes now. Peace and love, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for day 14. Good night.